All right. Well, we told you that episode 300 of the Piffles podcast would be huge, and we weren't kidding. Super to have joining us for the first show of 2025, the head coach of your Saskatchewan Roughriders, Corey Mace. Corey, thanks for your time. How were the off-season holidays so far?
Everything's been good. First, just want to congratulate you guys, man. 300. That's crazy. So, honored that I could be a part of this. So, kudos to you guys. But no, the off season's been nice. Had some downtime with the family. Escaped the cold for a little bit, and then now we're just back to business here in the office now. So.
Well, we asked the fans for some questions, and we got to get the most important one out of the way here. What's your go-to blizzard from the Dairy Queen next door at Elphinstone and Sask Drive?
Yeah, man, that's tough because there's just I've been known to dabble in a few, but anything that's got chocolate, I'm all in. But the strawberry cheesequake is always a plus. But I found the you go Oreo, which is kind of lame, but it's classic. But then you go the royal fudge right down the middle. Now, I don't know, the doctor probably, if he's listening, it's like stay away from that stuff. But man, that's tough to pass up.
You've been here in Riderville for just over a year now. Outside of football, how are you, Petra, Melina, and Micah liking it so far?
Oh man, we love it. We're fully entrenched. Everybody's been outstanding. I keep telling everybody that. Everybody always said, when I took the job, oh, be careful if you're around and things ain't going your way. I tell everybody, even during the stretch when things weren't going our way, interactions with everybody's been fantastic, man. And you love that about this place. And it's never an issue to sit down and talk for a little bit when anybody likes to interact. But family's totally entrenched, like I had mentioned. After this, at the office today, going to go to the Schmerler, take my daughter to swim classes and stuff. It's just, we're all over it, man. We love it.
Now, we just flipped the calendar over to 2025. Obviously, you guys are looking ahead to next season. What's a typical off-season day like for the head coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
Yeah, it's a good one. You should ask the wife about that, because I think she thought it was just, oh, you're off. Not so much. Yeah, it's just obviously working hand in hand with Jo and Kyle and Paul. We're just doing everything that we can to put the roster together and retain guys that we'd like, pending free agents from that standpoint. And then also, from a schematic standpoint, just changing nuances, self-scout, looking at things that you did really well, some things you want to improve on, as that goes for, all the coordinators. Obviously, from a head coaching standpoint, fortunately and unfortunately, when you have and you're doing good things, other teams want a part of that. So, we lost a coach this year who I love and respect, and JC Sherritt. So, you got to do your due diligence and trying to find, other qualified coaches to replace. So, there's that, making sure that your staff's up to par for what you're looking for, what you believe is successful. So, those are, I'd say, the main things. And then, after this, jumping on league meetings, and, we're going to head down to Charlotte here. And I think this weekend I'm going to take off down to Charlotte for the AFCA, and we have our league meetings there and just kind of talking over in totality of, putting things forward as potential rule changes, or getting a little bit more information on some of the rules that we already have that we need more clarity on, and et cetera, man. It's always geared towards making the league a better product.
Now, a lot with this organization over the last couple of years has been the talk about culture. We've talked about it a bunch on our show. I know this was a big thing when you took over the head coaching job. Now that you've had a year to establish new culture in Saskatchewan, how would you describe what that culture of this team and organization is?
Yeah, I think, from that standpoint, I would say I was most pleased with that. It can be like pulling teeth and trying to switch the mindset of people. Man, everybody, I thought from day one, was all over it, open-minded to maybe some things that would be done differently. And I thought, specifically the guys in the building, they took heed to it. And I thought the result of that was exactly, how we envisioned it. And it really, it's a ripple effect from, the locker room all the way up to the fourth floor on the business side of things. I think full organizationally, we see it as a healthy organization and what we're looking for and the culture that we're looking for. And truthfully, what we try to do is just mimic that of the residents of this province anyways. So, to this point and living here, I see that. I see all the things that we talk about it's pretty natural for people who are from here. And certainly, even these winters that we talk about, right? Like it takes a certain kind of person to play in cold weather games too. You gotta be able to weather that, and just get the hard work and then, be around your loved ones. So, very prideful team. They're very pleased with how everybody accepted that culture.
Now, on a more personal level, you're going into your second year as the head coach of the team here. What have you learned about yourself from a head coaching perspective from one year to the next?
Yeah, I think just now, like anything, reps, right? So, there was a lot of things that I tried to anticipate and prepare myself before it actually happened and taking over in this role. But now that you actually do it, you know exactly what to expect, and you're better prepared for it because you've been there. So I think that'll be the biggest takeaway. You learn a lot throughout the season, not even as it just pertains to the in-game or practices, but the scheduling, all the other things that are asked of someone sitting in this chair that might not specifically have to do with on-field stuff. But it takes time, and you got to learn how to manage your time properly to make sure that you can still execute everything that as it pertains, specifically to the team. So, yeah, man, just more repetitions at that, I think allows not only myself, but everybody else that, came over here in the first year regime or took over a new title that they'd never had before. Everybody will be able a step ahead, so to speak, going year two.
I did 10 years in radio, and I've talked to a lot of coaches, heard from a lot of coaches, and I find that lots of coaches learn from other coaches. Back in the summer, your wife Petra joined me for an interview on the Piffles podcast here. I asked her this question, and I'm curious to hear your answer as well. You're both coaches. She does women's fitness, of course. At the dinner table, you're probably bouncing off ideas, talking about your day. What do you learn from Petra as a coach?
No, she's incredible. I mean, time management, that should be one. That's the first thing, she's got so many different clients that, don't actually live here. So she's working with clients on different time zones, making sure that she's got her deadlines that she's got to hit. Different clients require different things that she's got to be on point with, on top of, all the things that are asked or not even asked, just things that she does for our family to stay afloat. You know what I mean? So time management and her work ethic, man, it's crazy. So, and even for her, she's opened up a new program, within the last couple weeks here, and it's growing even bigger, so it's incredible to see. And I think just the thought process for us both of just how we approach things. It takes hard work and some sacrifice in some areas, but we kind of just try to support each other and lean on each other when we can and step in from that. Because at the end of the day, that's always what it's going to be about, is us supporting each other and supporting our family and wanting to see success. So I'm super proud of her, happy as ever, man. And I know she is, for me as it pertains to this job.
Now, a lot of times you see players will follow coaches around in this league. You see it time and time again. Loyalty is a big thing. What is it about yourself, you think, that has players attaching themselves to you? Because we're already starting to kind of see that vibe and that attitude where players want to play for you. What do you think does that?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a question for me, maybe a question for those guys, but I think it just kind of falls back on the principles of how, we want to treat people around here. And I think having a little bit of an idea of what they go through in the day to day, just at one point or another being in their seats, so to speak. And just, just casual conversation. I've been on teams or been around teams that, you can't just sit down and have a conversation with the head coach, which is, I always thought was baffling, but some coaches like leading like that. That's just not what we do here. Love talking to guys about things that have nothing to do with football. I think some people appreciate that. So yeah, that's what I think. It's always cool to see whether guys follow or not, just maintaining those relationships with players that you've worked with, because you always want to see them succeed for themselves and their families. And if you can do it together, even better. But if not, no ill will. You just you're happy when you get those calls of hey, coach, having a new kid, or I'm getting married, or it's I enjoy that.
Back in the day, we had Old Taylor Field. You played there as a visitor, of course. You actually had some success. You had a 60-yard fumble return touchdown back in 2010 when you were with the Stamps. What was the better touchdown for you, that one or the touchdown catch you had in 2012?
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to answer that. I'd say the 60-yarder looks a lot sweeter, and I think the implications of that game, I think it clinched us first place in the West at that time. So that was pretty cool. But I tell you, I don't remember playing a snap after that. I was so tired. The catch from Bo, I think will go down as it's pretty cool as his first touchdown pass, when his career is all said and done. But that was only for 1 yard. I was able to play after that. So I like that aspect of it too. But I'd probably lean keep it Sask, man. We'll go for the first one in Sask.
Well, I have to say, as a fantasy football player, a 1 yard touchdown catch is just as important as any other touchdown catch. So
no doubt.
The makeup of this team for 2025 really appears to be one of continuity, both coaching staff and on the roster. Is that one of your goals, is to kind of keep that continuity going forwards?
Yeah, it's ideal. I think if you look around the league and you see the teams who have been in the upper half in the standings, it's just that, right? It's continuity. It's because you don't have to always reset and reteach culture, for example, or it goes a long way. For players being in the same system, knowing the same coaches, knowing what's expected. You don't have to start training camp of learning everything from scratch. So it is important, I think, continuity, absolutely. Regardless, you're always looking to find ways to strengthen the team, but I do believe being able to have that continuity with players that can help you get over the hump. You want to try to keep that. Now, obviously, with free agency and you can't just say, "Oh, I want everybody back." Guys are gonna be like, "Sure, well, how much you gonna give us?" But you try to do your best to manage all that, and unbelievable faith in the things that Jo and Kyle and Paul and those guys do as well. So yeah, man, really looking forward to 25.
And then speaking of that continuity, I'm hoping Micah Johnson's going to be back. I know you probably can't get into contract talks and all that stuff. That might be more of a Jo question. But what's it like coaching a guy that you played with?
Yeah, it's very it's a unique deal. I'd say at this point we're getting, and that's all credit to Micah, truthfully. But Derek Wiggin just retired, so the numbers are dwindling from guys that I played with, and then having the coach. Making the transition. Getting into coaching, almost every guy my first year was a teammate of mine at some point. And I'd have to look, man. Micah might be the last one standing from that regime, but he's been nothing but a pro. Obviously had a excellent year for himself, and I think just a respect factor, not only as player to coach and just understanding the dynamics of that in the building. But how we are, even when I wasn't coaching, he was on other teams and I was coaching somewhere else, and the communication that we had as former teammates and even as a former player of mine, just nothing but respect for the man, and being where he's at in his career and still having the production, it's been excellent.
Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, because there's a big game happening not long after we finish this recording. We're both Tottenham Hotspur fans. I'm wearing the jersey now. What do you think our odds are today against Liverpool?
Listen, it's always Spurs, baby. Coys till we die. You know
I
it.
like it. I like it.
Awesome, boys. I appreciate you guys.
No idea what you guys are talking about here.
I'll teach you one day, Alex.
All right. Last one for you, Corey, because I know you got to get going here. What's going to be different about this 2025 team that we see on the field than the version we got last year with your first year as head coach?
Yeah, I would think just kind of what we spoke to, just a familiarity with everything, of what's to be expected. We already know what the expectations are of what we're looking for as a staff and as a team, and the players that now at this point, instead of the coaches, can kind of be a little firmer in holding everybody accountable, which leads, I think, to a faster start and an understanding of what we're trying to get accomplished. So, that's the goal, is being able to have us, start fast, but also maintain those expectations throughout the year. So there's not a few hiccups, throughout the week or anything like that. The players, should be able to have a little bit more hold on the reins from that standpoint. So, just really looking forward to it. I know the guys are all itching, texting about information. Hey, when can we look at this? When can we look at that? And you love that as a coach. So they're ready to go. The coaches are ready to rock, and we're already working, man. So looking forward to it.
I know we're still a few months away from training camp, but we're fans. We can't wait to see you guys back on the field. Corey, thanks for your time. I know you don't have a lot of it to spare, so we do appreciate that. Take care and have a great rest of the off season.
Hey, appreciate you guys. And again, congrats on 300, man. Excellent.